Hello there, I'm Raymond Goh and you're watching Nightline. The headlines. Government goes back to weekly managed float system to determine fuel prices. And 500 ringgit fine for first-time offenders of smoking ban. Good morning. Here's some good news for road users. In line with the global trend of falling oil prices, new pump prices recorded a significant drop for the period of January 5th to January 11th. This as the government adopts the weekly price mechanism for fuel according to the automatic pricing mechanism APM. The Finance Ministry in a statement on Friday said during the said period, RON 97 petrol will cost 2 ringgit 23 cent per litre, down from 2 ringgit 50 cent per litre, while RON 95 petrol will cost 1 ringgit 93 cent per litre, down from 2 ringgit 20 cent per litre. As for diesel, the price will drop to 2 ringgit and 4 cent per litre from 2 ringgit 18 cent. Its Minister Lim Guan Eng said that the fixing of petroleum retail prices was discussed at the cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad on January 2nd. Lim said the federal government will set the retail prices of petroleum products weekly so that consumers can benefit from any price changes more quickly, in line with the downward trend in petroleum prices on world markets. The retail prices are set to be announced every Friday and will come into effect the following day until the next Friday. The new prices also took into consideration the commissions or margins of petrol station operators as approved by the cabinet meeting. This as the government had agreed that the petrol station operators' margins be streamlined with an additional 2 ringgit 81 cent to 15 cent per litre for RON 95 petrol and an additional 3 cent to 10 cent per litre for diesel products compared to the current rates. The last time the rates were reviewed was in 2008. The retail prices will be maintained at below 2 ringgit 20 cent per litre for RON 95 petrol and 2 ringgit 18 cent per litre for diesel through subsidies when global prices go up to shield consumers from the effects of any substantial price hikes. The Health Ministry will issue a 500 ringgit fine against first-time offenders caught smoking at eateries. Deputy Health Minister Lee Boon Chye said the fine will be issued once the 6-month grace period on smoking ban ends in June. Lee said offenders are required to pay their fines within 2 weeks. If they failed to settle the fine within the stipulated period and were caught smoking at no smoking zones again, they can be fined up to 10,000 ringgit or 2 years jail. During the grace period, Health Ministry enforcement staff would educate and give verbal reminders to defiant smokers and eatery operators. Premises owners could also be compounded for 250 ringgit if they fail to put up no smoking signs. Those who fail to pay the compound would be charged in court and are liable to a maximum fine of 3,000 ringgit or 6 months jail. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad explained that the proposal for recognition of the Unified Examination Certificate, UEC, has to take into account the sensitivities of all races and not just any specific group. He said the government was always sensitive in matters associated with all the races in the country to ensure that the people continue to support it.
Saya tak kata saya tolak, saya cuma kata ada sensitiviti di kalangan orang Melayu dalam perkara ini dan kita ambil kira semua sensitiviti, termasuk sensitiviti orang Cina, orang India, orang asli dan juga suku kaum di Malaysia. Kita mesti ambil kira pandangan semua kaum, bukan satu kaum saja. Kalau saya kata orang Melayu sensitif berkenaan dengan ini, tidak bermakna bahawa ini bermakna orang lain tak sensitif dan saya tidak sensitif terhadap orang lain.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said this after chairing a meeting of the Pakatan Harapan Presidential Council in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. He pointed out that media reports on his statement on the issue were inaccurate and did not reflect what he said. On Wednesday, several local media had quoted a Chinese daily which reported that the Prime Minister wanted the feelings of the Malays to be considered first before the UEC was recognized. Meanwhile, on the Pakatan Harapan coalition, Tun Dr. Mahathir has dismissed views by certain quarters that cooperation between component parties in Pakatan Harapan is weak. He said differences of opinions between them was only natural in politics. Tun Dr. Mahathir also noted that the component parties in PH have similar views in most of the issues discussed.
Ramai yang berpendapat bahawa coalition ini lemah. Dia tak lemah, kita semua kuat. Dalam kabinet pun kita boleh bekerjasama. Dalam mesyuarat Pakatan Harapan pun kita boleh bincang without too much emotion dan tak adalah perkataan kasar-kasar terhadap mana-mana pihak.
Certain quarters were of the opinion that PH component parties were at odds with each other, particularly over the issue of who becomes the next Prime Minister. This has also called on PKR President Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim to comment on the matter.
What I said was, we can't deny that there are some elements who may not agree. It's a democratic process. What is important is that Pakatan Harapan agreed, and I and Tun Mahathir has agreed.
Meanwhile, when asked to comment on criticisms made by the Tunku Mahkota Johor, Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim, about the Pakatan Harapan government, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the Johor Prince did not understand the concept of the federal government. The Prime Minister took a further jibe at Tunku Ismail's lack of understanding, attributing it to the fact that the young prince wasn't born when the federation was formed.
Dia tak faham tentang federation. Mangkali bangsa tu dia belum dilahir. Jadi dia tak tahulah. Tapi saya dilahir masa tu. Kita buat federation bermakna federation menguasai seluruh negara. Dan kata ini tak boleh, itu tak boleh, tak ada.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said the federal government has the right to make statements on issues in the states, further adding that there is a list of what comes under the jurisdiction of the federation and what comes under the states. It is, however, not stated that the federation cannot issue statements or that when a state issues a statement, the federation cannot comment on it. The Tunku Mahkota Johor is renowned for being vocal in expressing his personal views on political issues on social media, with the latest being a post on his Facebook account reminding the Pakatan Harapan government not to politicize issues and to focus on the administration of the country. In another development, Tun Dr. Mahathir said PH will maintain former DAP candidate M. Manugaran to contest in the Cameron Highlands parliamentary by-election. PH, he said, is also confident that it will take over the seat from Barisan Nasional, while admitting at the same time that it will be a tough fight.
Kita akan menang dalam pilihan raya kecil ini. Ini biasa. Tapi insyaAllah kita akan menang. Dan kita tak tahu siapa yang nak bersaing dengan kita. Dengar cerita macam-macam. Walau siapa pun yang akan bertanding, kita percaya kita dapat mengatasi masalah.
In the 14th general election, Manugaran lost to Barisan Nasional candidate Datuk C. Sivaraj. The election court, however, nullified the result after establishing beyond reasonable doubt that bribery was proven during the election. Nomination day for the Cameron Highlands by-election has been set on January 12th, while polling day on January 26th. The Education Ministry is providing early school assistance to more than 3 million school children from Year 1 up to Form 5 starting Friday. Its Minister Dr. Mazli Malik said the ministry has allocated 312 million ringgit for such assistance, involving more than 3 million primary and secondary school students in 10,175 government schools and government-aided schools. In a statement on Friday, Dr. Mazli said each student will receive 100 ringgit. The distribution to all students will be made in January, and any deductions and distribution other than cash is not allowed. He added that students who were eligible to receive the aid were from among households that earned 3,000 ringgit and below. The Malaysian Armed Forces ATM is ready to deploy the Royal Military Air Force's aircraft to Sudan to bring home 105 Malaysian students stranded there. Its chief Tan Sri Zulkifli Zainal Abidin said that the ATM is in constant communication with the Malaysian Embassy in Sudan to get the latest information before bringing home the affected students.
Angkatan Tentera Malaysia melalui Tentera Udara Diraja Malaysia sentiasa bersedia. Jika sekiranya diperlukan, kita boleh menerbangkan pesawat kita ke sana. Sebagaimana tuan-tuan dan puan-puan baca dalam surat khabar, mereka ini diarahkan untuk berehat di rumah oleh kerana keadaan tidak mengizinkan. 105 orang yang berada di Khartoum itu sedang dimonitor oleh embassy di sana. Jadi kita menunggu saja. Kita bersedia bila-bila masa. InsyaAllah.
Tan Sri Zulkifli told this to the media after delivering the Armed Forces 2019 mandate to ATM personnel at the Ministry of Defence in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. On Thursday, the Malaysian Embassy in Sudan said it wanted all 105 Malaysian students to be brought home immediately, fearing for their safety following protests and unrest in Khartoum after the Sudanese government decided to bring up the cost of bread. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad Kelima performed the Friday prayers at the Sultan Ismail Petra Mosque, Kubang Kerian, Kelantan. Clad in cream-coloured jubah, he arrived at the mosque at about 1:30 p.m. accompanied by Kelantan Menteri Besar Datuk Ahmad Yaakob, State Secretary Datuk Nazran Muhammad and Kelantan Mufti Datuk Muhammad Shukri Muhammad. About 5,000 people attended the congregational weekly prayer session led by Imam Abdul Bari Abdullah. Abdul Bari delivered the Friday sermon where he cautioned against taking action without checking the facts, which could be harmful to the implicated party. After the Friday prayers, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the congregation also performed the Solat Hajat, so that he will be blessed with long life and good health after resuming his duties. Sultan Muhammad Kelima later spent some time shaking hands with the congregation before leaving for home. Now let's hop onto our daily segment Bites, where we take a look at what's making rounds in the local scene. Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Razak and former 1MDB CEO Arul Kanda Kandasamy will be jointly tried for allegedly tampering an audit report on a state fund. This was after the Sessions Court granted the prosecution's request for the case involving Arul to be heard together with that of the former Prime Minister on Friday. Former Goldman Sachs banker Roger Ng's application for bail pending his extradition proceedings will be decided by the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Monday. Judge M.M. Edwin Paramjoti has set next Monday to decide whether to grant bail to Ng, or his real name Ng Chong Hua, 47, who is facing criminal charges in Malaysia and in the United States over the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB investigation. A syndicate responsible for luxury car thefts has been crippled with the arrest of 5 suspects. The syndicate is believed to have been active in Malacca and Johor. Several rivers in the Alor Gajah district in Malacca, especially Pangkalan Balak, have become the points of entry for an influx of illegal immigrants into the country after realizing that the waters in Selangor and Negeri Sembilan are no longer safe. This was revealed following the arrest of 56 illegal immigrants and 9 takongs in a series of operations since December 20th to January 1st. A Yemen national pleaded not guilty at the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court on Friday on a charge of dangerous driving, which resulted in the death of a snatch thief who took his bag 2 years ago. Muhammad Shauki Ahmad Zawkari, aged 27, made the plea after the charge was read in English before Magistrate Muhammad Noor Hafizuddin Yusuf. In Ampang, a subcontractor worker pleaded not guilty in the Ampang Magistrates Court on 2 charges of threatening to hit 2 traffic policemen during the New Year's Eve celebration. The accused, identified as BB Terence Raj, 23 years old, pleaded for trial after the charge against him was read to him by the court interpreter. He was charged under Section 506 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum jail term of 2 years or fine or both. After this breather, Auto segment kicks off its pilot series. Make sure you stay tuned to catch it. Be among the first to catch it. Welcome back. Now, the auto segment on Nightline makes its debut today, and the first project will see host Sabrina Zainal learn some techniques of advanced driving. What are the steps that she has to go through before completing her lesson? Let's find out.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Zainal, your host for one of Nightline's new segments called Hot on Wheels Advanced Driving. This is the first project of this auto segment. Now, what are we going to learn? Basically, everything about cars and how to be on the road, your skills, how to improve them, and a lot more. So, my ultimate goal is, of course, advanced driving. How am I going to get there? I have with me our co-host, Azad Jasmi.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Right, so Azad is the chief instructor at TIC Advanced Driving Academy, and he will be my instructor for the rest of this segment. What are we going to expect? Tell us a little bit more.
Okay, on behalf of TIC Advanced Driving Academy, we'll be working on a program, on the developmental program, where the viewers will learn from us the proper techniques of sitting position, emergency braking, and how to maneuver the car in a lot of circumstances. So we are not going to teach you how to be a race driver, rally driver or drifter, but we are sure that you are going to learn how to improve your driving skills, how to attract the capacity and capability of your car. So it's going to be very interesting, and please follow us.
Great. So I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Let's go!
Of course, we start with the something under the hood where you need to understand the basic car characteristics. But another thing is we start with the theory of how you need to properly sit inside the car. Because most of the people, they sit inside the car, but it is not properly done. The hand placement, the foot placement, the right way of adjusting your seat, because you have to be one with the car. We also will learn about the braking under the wet condition, under the dry condition, and different cars serve different purpose. Some of the cars are equipped with the ABS, or what we call anti-lock braking system. So the braking techniques for the car with the ABS and the car without the ABS are two different things.
What comes after that?
After that, we will learn how to really turn the steering. People might be asking, I've been driving for the last 20 years, 15 years or 40 years. You are going to teach me how to turn the steering? Yes. So we are going to properly learn how to properly turn the steering and engage the car. And also we'll learn about how to do obstacle avoidance once, let's say you're coming on the highway or the normal trunk road and something happened, the car or something obstacle in front of you, what will happen, how you want to brake and how you want to maneuver.
Yeah.
Because that's normally happen on the road.
So there's a lot of technical things that I should learn about, as well as...
Which is not difficult,
yeah,
which is applicable, and everybody can learn, and the viewers can learn, and at the end of the day, you are going to, I think, deploy some of the techniques on your daily driving, because advanced and defensive driving is not about how you want to drive fast, but we want to mitigate the driving harsh. Some people are harsh driving, it's not fast driving.
What's the last stage?
The last will be something a bit more, it's not crazy, something a bit more fun. Okay. You're going to learn a bit like how to do handbrake turning, how to do J-turn, and we are also going to learn skid driving. Now we are here.
We're here, finally.
Let's go and take a look what's under the hood. Yeah. This is the washer. This is the dipstick to check the engine level. This is the normal battery. Normal battery, okay. There is an indicator, but there is no indicator here. But For the normal battery, it will last within 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
This is the radiator. Don't open when hot. Now it's very hot.
Yeah. All right, so we've learned a lot about the major components of this car, what's under the hood especially,
Yes.
And you've taught me a lot about the steps of how to get from just a normal driver to advanced driving, which is actually a lot in one day, so thank you so much. What can we expect in the next episode?
Okay, next episode, we are going to start with the first lesson of defensive and advanced driving.
Okay.
We'll do the sitting position.
Yep.
We'll do the hand placement and foot placement.
Okay.
That
Hands
will be
and
in
feet.
the next episode.
Great.
It's going to be interesting.
Sounds fun. Looking forward to it. So tune in again next week for the next episode of Hot on Wheels Advanced Driving. See you next time.
When we come back, one casualty reported from tropical storm Pabuk. Don't touch that remote. Nightline continues. Thailand's first tropical storm in 3 decades killed one person on Friday as it arrived on the south coast, knocking down trees and blowing off roofs in its path. The first casualty involved a fisherman when a trawler he was traveling in sunk off the coast of Patani province due to stormy seas caused by tropical storm Pabuk. Another fisherman was reported missing, while 4 others managed to make it back to shore safely. The body of Pramod Wonsuman was found washed ashore around 11 a.m. local time on Friday, while the missing man is only known by his first name, Chalong. The 30-ton vessel named Chok Mali Ni sank around 2 a.m. local time in the Gulf of Thailand, off Yaring district, as it was heading back to Songkhla. The stormy conditions are expected to persist into Saturday. Over in India, at least 7 people, including a child, were killed after a factory collapsed in West Delhi's Moti Nagar industrial area late on Thursday. Local authorities said the incident occurred due to a gas explosion in the compressor. The blast also injured 8 others. According to police, there were at least 18 people in the building during the incident. All injured, including the factory worker and the factory owner, were immediately sent to a hospital for treatment, while some people were still feared trapped inside the building. A preliminary probe revealed that work was ongoing in the factory. Meanwhile, down under in Australia, an Aussie man fatally stabbed himself in the chest after he went on a road rampage and wounded a passerby in the Sydney suburbs on Friday. The dramatic incident, which occurred before 3 p.m. local time, began after police tried to pull over the man who was driving a 4-wheel drive without displaying license plates. According to police, the 24-year-old man who had rammed the police car also allegedly hijacked a delivery truck, stole a taxi, and also rammed several other cars. However, police confirmed that the incident was not terror-related. Police did not provide further details about the man and said he did not have a significant criminal history. Coming up in sports, Brisbane International, Medvedev through to last 4. Stay with us. Sports tennis now, the Brisbane International. 4th-seeded Daniil Medvedev came back from a set down to beat Milos Raonic to go through to the semi-finals. It was Raonic who enjoyed a good start as it took the first set 7-6. Medvedev, however, regained his touch as it took the next two sets 6-3, 6-4 in just 2 hours and 9 minutes. The Russian will next face either France's Jo Wilfried Tsonga or 7th seed Alex de Minaur of Australia. Visuals of the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival in China wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for your company.